The next speaker is Domitila Torralba, to be followed by Maria Fernandez.
Buenas noches.
Good night.
Yo soy de la colonia donde va a ser
I'm from La Colonia, where
donde va a ser removido las casitas para construir nuevos.
they're going to remove the homes to build the new.
Y estoy aquí porque yo necesito
And I'm here
la ayuda
because
de la ciudad que
I need the help of the
más de
city.
tiempo,
We need a little bit more time
que nos ayuden a buscar
to
un lugar,
help us to find a place,
porque yo tengo un hijo especial, y
because
es
I have
difícil para mí
a son with a
buscar
special
para él.
needs, and it's very hard for me to go and provide for him and also for those other families that are going through this same thing. All the families that in La Colonia that are going to move away are struggling to find a new place, and 30 days is not enough time. And we need more time. We need help to find a new place. There are a lot of people that are suffering through depression and really struggling to find a place where to live, because we've sought a place under Section 8, but it hasn't been provided to us. There's not any space right now anywhere, and it's hard for us to move from another county to search for a place. That's why I'm here, to ask you for your help, to please help us somehow to find a place for all these families that are going through these. That's it. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Mayor Pro Tem?
Just, I'd like to see if we could ask Mr. Wilkins to talk to this lady and perhaps later give us at some future time, a report on how relocation's going.
Thank you very much. The next speaker is Maria Fernandez, to be followed by Rosa Castro. And that was...
Good night. I'm Maria Fernandez. I have here a document, and if you could please read it. It's in English. And the residents of Colonia Village came to City Council several months before regarding the 31-1 project. During this time, residents are being displaced without any empathy from the housing authority. We have elderly and disabled residents who are suffering from depression and anxiety because they feel that no one wants to assist them. They feel alone and cannot get straight information from the housing authority. Many residents have unsuccessfully been able to find Section 8 housing in the community. Many complexes do not want Section 8, and once we find something, housing does not even have the deposit we need to secure an apartment. It looks like the housing authority did not do enough research before beginning this project. Our kids are being taken away from their schools. We are being asked to choose housing in other areas of the city, and if we do not do this in 90 days, they are leaving us 3 days notices to quit. We as residents are trying our best to comply. We want safer and better housing for the community and our children. Please listen to us and have the housing authority do a better job with the way they serve the community and the tax-paying tenants.
Muchas gracias.
Thank you very much.
Gracias.
Thank you very much. I know we have Mr. Wilkins here in the audience and Mr. Lawson. Mr. Wilkins or Mr. Lawson, could you comment very quickly on what efforts the Housing Department has undertaken and or is currently undertaking to meet the needs of these residents and what we could do to better do so?
Good evening, Mr. Mayor, Madam Mayor Pro Tem, members of the City Council. The relocation process has been in place now for about 30, 45 days. We have a private company, Paradigm, that is on site every day from 8 o'clock to 5 o'clock, Monday through Friday. In addition to that, the staff, Jesus Andrade, who is here this evening, and Carrie Sabatini, are the supervisors overseeing this process. With respect to the time frame that's being provided, we are not expecting anyone to be moving in 30 days or 90 days. 90 days, the reason for the 90 days is that if we issue a voucher to someone and do not check it until such time as it is D-Day, then we're too late. So the 90 days is a midpoint check. They will have additional time to be able to find a unit, but more importantly, Paradigm is there to assist them, hold their hands trying to find a unit. No, it is not easy for them. Most of them have lived there for many, many years. And that being said, this is a difficult process, and we truly understand that. Having to relocate the children, we understand the fact that they're elderly there and disabled.
Mr. Wilkins, quick question about the schools. To what extent have we coordinated these kids and when they go to other areas, or how does that happen? We don't know where they're going to relocate to, correct?
Well, Mr. Mayor, we don't know where they're going to relocate, so there's been no outreach in trying to work with the schools.
Okay, I think, again, that's good to hear the progress, and I know that we're working on it, and we'll work diligently to, again, do whatever we can to meet the needs of the residents. So, and last question is in regards to seniors in particular and some of the issues that surround, the mental, emotional anguish of having to move and the disruptive nature of that. Do we have someone that we can team up with the county that might be able to work with some of these residents on making the transition a little bit easier for them as we, evolve into this process? Is that a possibility?
I'm not sure if I understand the question. Mr. Mayor, we have hired a company and we have the staff. Now, with respect to social workers, which I think you may be referring to, we do not have a relationship with social workers in the county to get involved in this process.
Well, I mean, again, I can't direct it as mayor. I'm just suggesting that, and other members of the council, again, we should have a broader conversation about this maybe soon, but I would hope that we could, later on we'll be talking about strategic objectives, and a lot of it has to do with partnerships, and I would hope that we might be able to more closely partner with the county to work with them to, if we don't have the qualified individuals to work with people from a kind of a social services aspect, that we might be able to do that might be able to work with them to make the transition a little bit easier. So again, I know you're doing a lot, Mr. Wilkins, and your staff, but we'll continue to seek additional means that we can meet the needs of the residents.
And yes, we will. And we will provide the Council Housing Authority Commission with an update report as Mayor Pro Tem has requested.
Thank you so much. The next speaker is Maria Fernandez, to be followed by Rosa Castro. Oh, she already spoke. Rosa Castro. To be followed by Artemio Jimenez, or Jimenez, I'm sorry about the writing.
Buenas noches.
Good night.
Rosa Castro.
I'm Rosa Castro,
Y nuestro motivo de estar aquí
and we're here
porque mucha gente
because
está
a lot of people is
desconfiada
unhappy, they're having a hard time
porque nos dejaron que nosotros
because
estemos buscando vivienda y no podemos hallar.
they told us to find a place to live and we can't find it.
Entonces también, ¿verdad? Nos dijeron que nos iban a
So we were also told that we would get help
con dinero para las mudanzas y a
with
muchas personas no les están
money
ayudando.
for moving, and a lot of people are not getting help.
En mi caso personal,
In my personal case,
a mí me dieron 2 meses para mover.
I was given 2 months to move.
Ya tengo un mes.
It's been already a month,
Entonces, pues como yo no hallo vivienda,
and since I cannot find housing,
y no me han podido buscar. Yo me estoy moviendo
And
con una...
nobody has
una
been able to
hermana mía.
find one for me. I'm moving with a sister of mine,
Entonces, pues ahí yo ya me tengo que mover también. porque
and I'm going to have to
nomás me
move
dieron 2
soon
meses.
because I was only given 2 months,
Yo no puedo estar esperando porque yo
and
voy a
I
empezar a
can't
trabajar
keep waiting because I'm about to start to work,
y está más difícil para mí.
and
Entonces,
it's harder for me.
yo estoy, ¿verdad? También con todas las personas.
So I'm also in this with all these people.
Hay muchas personas mayores
There are a lot of elderly people
que están bien apuradas porque no saben cómo
that are having a hard time because
los van a dejar solos
they
o
don't
los
know
dejan en la calle.
where they're going to go or if they're going to be left alone or even end in the streets.
Y ojalá les pido
And so I'm asking you, please,
que por favor pongan atención con esta gente.
to take care of these people.
Gracias.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Mayor Flynn, council members, 30 minutes has passed.
Okay, members of the council, just have a few more speakers. Okay, and the last speaker was Maria Fernandez, we already did. Rosa Castro, she just spoke, I'm sorry, we're not following that. Artemio Jimenez, or Jimenez, I'm sorry. Ana, to be followed by Ana Lopez. Ana Lopez? Okay. Artemio? Okay. No, Artemio will go first and then Ana Lopez. So, primero Artemio y segundo Ana Lopez, por favor.
Good night.
Quería preguntar yo,
I wanted to ask,
como para nosotros que estamos
for us
capacitados,
that are disabled,
¿qué va a pasar?
what's going to happen?
Encontrar apartamentos que no sean
Are we going to be able to find
solo piso y
a one-story apartment?
bien local, no hemos encontrado.
And so far, we haven't been able to find one.
¿Qué va a pasar si no encontramos?
What's going to happen if we don't find one?
Porque pues nosotros no tenemos la facilidad para subir.
Because it's not easy for us to go up the stairs.
Pues eso es lo que yo quería saber, qué es lo que va a pasar.
That's all I wanted to know, what's going to happen.
Porque vemos mucha gente que no tenemos
Because
para movernos
we see a lot of people
en otra parte donde vaya
that are not
bajo piso.
able to move to ground floor.
Pues esa pregunta.
So that was my question. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. And the next speaker will be Ana Lopez, to be followed by George Sorkin.
Good night.
Sí, yo quería expresar
I wanted to express
el descontento que tengo
how unhappy I am
con este problema que tenemos de vivienda.
with this issue we're having with housing.
Nos prometieron muchas cosas. que
We
no
were
estamos cumpliendo.
promised a lot of things that haven't happened.
Viviendas públicas nos dejó con sección 8.
Public housing referred us to Section 8.
Sección 8 tratamos de comunicarnos con ellos
We tried communicating with Section 8,
y nunca están dispuestos a escuchar.
but they're never willing to listen to us.
Vamos y hablamos,
We go and talk.
no regresan llamadas.
They don't answer our calls.
Sección 8 siempre tiene la ventana cerrada,
The windows of Section 8 are always closed.
abre nada más 2 horas.
They open only 2 hours.
Y ahorita con el problema que tenemos,
And now with this issue we're dealing with,
yo pido por favor que se mantengan 8 horas abiertas para
I ask them please to be open 8 hours
poder expresar
so that we can go
lo que trae.
and talk to them about the problems we have.
Ahorita yo el problema que traigo es,
My issue is
yo todavía no tengo respuesta de ninguna clase de papel.
that I haven't gotten any answers, that I don't have any paperwork,
Y pues está llegando el tiempo de tomar las viviendas.
and we're getting to the date on which the buildings are going to be torn, and I don't know what to do.
Y pues yo pido pues que sección 8 ponga más
So I'm asking
cuidado con nosotros.
Section 8 to give us more help. That's it.
Okay, Ms. Burnham, and I can see that there are several residents here that are having problems with housing. If we could, before they even leave, and if we can have the gentleman that's translating tell them that we can have staff meet with them outside and get their names and make sure that we facilitate whatever we can to help them out.
Yes, Mr. Mayor, and we do have a number of our staff members from housing here this evening.
Okay, if someone could make that announcement, sir, could you make that announcement for these residents, please?
Sí, por favor, todas aquellas personas que están aquí para el tema de la vivienda, va a haber un representante de la agencia de vivienda con quien se pueden comunicar, o sea, que no se vayan antes de hablar con esta persona, ¿de acuerdo?
Mr. Mayor, Mr. Wilkins is already outside with some...
Okay, one second. One second, Mr. Well, hold on, please. Okay, there's a motion to reopen the public hearing.
Chairman Flynn,
Yeah.
can you please clarify what he wants to speak on? Because it's not clear what he wants to speak
Say what it was.
Okay, Mr. Barrios, would you like to speak on this particular item, or is there another item that you'd like to speak on?
All these people came back because they weren't satisfied with your answer that you gave them. Step out and let somebody else take care of your problem. There's nobody else that can take care of your problem but you. 5 people can take care of people's problem, nobody else. And they need help. I think the city's council is they should, in order to take them out, I think you have to pay for the rent, for the service, for everything, because they're living on your projects, and they've been there for a long, long time. And I think I've been telling you about the code enforcement, I've been telling you about the police department. They're all wrong completely, but we cannot discuss this because the police department is going to say, you're crazy. I'd like to discuss this, get an arbitrator so we can discuss this by ourselves. I'd like to tell you a lot of things on the past month, what's happening with the police department.
Okay.
So what are you going to do with all these people?
Okay, we can't respond, we can't engage in a conversation as you're speaking. We can direct the comments to the city manager. We've already given direction to the city manager and the staff to work with the residents. It's understandable that there's a lot of consternation, a lot of concern about their relocation, and our promise is to work with them, and council members will also be working individually with these residents.
When?
Well, we can't now, but
Tomorrow, the day after
That's
tomorrow?
correct.
And
That's
Mr. Mayor,
correct.
we'll make sure that at
Okay.
meeting, I've just asked Mr. Erickson to step out and see if there's any
Okay.
residents out there, and we'll make sure a meeting is scheduled
Okay.
very, very soon.
Thank you.
¿Quiere decir algo, señora?
Okay. Okay. Mr. Yes, you just have to speak directly to the council and not to the audience, because we can't have other people, if you'd like to finish, and if they would like to speak, put a
I
speaker
see
card.
you let people from here turn around. She said, I'd like to make a motion. So all of you that want this, everybody raise their hands now. How's that?
Right.
You let that grow from here. Make a motion for you, asking the people if they wanted this. Everybody raise their hands, yes. You let them.
I've never, as mayor of the city, I've never solicited comments from the audience. This is not a TV show; it's a council meeting. So I understand you have concerns.
If we take out the cassette, you'll see the girl that made the motion, and she told you, I'm going to turn around and ask all these people, and you let her. You
Okay.
let her make the motion for you.
Okay, thank you.
I understand what you're talking about.
Thank you. Okay, all right. Okay, so we need a motion to close the public testimony portion of the public hearing? We actually reopened it, so we already did that. All right, so good. All right. Okay.